I didn't talk too much about our learnings in our slides, so I'll try to overlay that as a part of the overall presentation. So in this day and age, a lot of people have been talking about e-commerce taking over. You know, Amazon is one of the largest companies in the world now, and a huge portion of our consumption, especially people in New York City, are conducted through e-commerce. But what a lot of people really miss is that average customers still shop about 1.6 times per week inside a grocery store. And on top of that, physical grocery store is about 7% of people's discretionary spending. So it is one of the largest consumptions that we have on a daily basis. It is the second largest after whatever you pay for your rent. So in this large market, we have 99% of people who still regularly shop in grocery stores. I'm not going to take a poll here, but if I ask, who here shops in a grocery store, I'm sure 99% of you will raise your hand. So, of which inside grocery stores, 97% are still being transacted in the physical space today. Now, 3% of which is online shopping, and still 100% of Instacart, which is one of the largest players in grocery e-commerce, 100% of Instacart shoppers still shop in physical stores today. So I think a lot of people don't know this. Like Instacart shoppers, they go to your local grocery store, pick up your they go down your aisles, they pick up your grocery, they go through a regular checkout lane, and then they leave the store and then deliver it to your home. So grocery store and physical retail is still a huge part of people's everyday consumption. So in this space, we have a huge leaking roof problem for these retailers. We have increasing minimum wage that's compressing margins for retailers. We have e-commerce chipping customers away from their physical brick and mortar store. We have consumers' values experience more and more. People have a high requirement as to what their shopping experience needs to be. And lastly is a lot of the e-commerce stores like Amazon, Warby Parker, Bonobos, right? They're all coming into physical store and they're tackling and they're opening up their own chains. So with that, there's a lot of, there are two major ways in the market right now that's tackling this space. The first one is app. The mobile app portion is something that we see in Walmart, Kroger's, and Target app, where customers could directly download an app, and they could go to a store, they scan the items that they want, and they could check out. Now, the problem with this is that, number one, there's a huge barrier to adoption. Walmart, initially, when they were promoting their Scan and Go app, they were giving out free chickens just for you to download the app. And on top of that, for those who downloaded the app, they saw a more than 2% shrink increase in their stores. That means that people are stealing. And lastly, it hasn't really proven to save time for shoppers because some customers actually still need to channel through regular cashiers to pay, or they get audited at the door. And then the second part, which is a little more interesting, you have Amazon Go, right? It's established business model. They have one at Brookfield Place next to my house, and it's a beautiful store. However, it requires store renovation because if you walk into a store, there are a ton of cameras. I'll get into that in a little bit. There's a lot of operational complexity in rolling this out because every single item needs to be trained against the computer vision model. There's limited space. Typically, it's in a small space, about 1,800 square feet. It doesn't scale to too much larger than that. And that's limited by the amount of computing power. And on top of that, there is no return on investment. I think recently, there is a leaked document or something that discloses that average Amazon Go store costs about $3 million to implement. So a $3 million in a store that is smaller than this place is extremely expensive. And lastly, it's all or nothing solution. So you have to download an Amazon Go app. I see kids that are being left outside of Amazon Go because these little kids can't download the app. But that's a different point. So, I took a tour into Amazon Go, and this is what I see. There are a ton of overhead ceiling cameras, and on top of that, on the shelf, you have these shelf-based cameras too that's consistently looking at what everyone's doing inside the store. And inside the entire store, if you account for the shelf cameras, there are over 1,000 cameras inside the store. This kind of goes back into a little bit of our story as to how we decided to pursue Smart Shopping Cart. So we started the company about 4 years ago, and we built a different product for about a year and a half that ultimately didn't work. So when we decided to pivot, me and my co-founder originally thought about the Amazon Go type of idea. We had the team capacity, we had the engineers, both hardware and computer vision, and we thought we could realize this. But we decided to take a step back and we say, hey, look, this time around, since we failed in our first product, we need to go back and talk to our customers before we build it. So me and my co-founder went and visited over 150 grocery stores in New York City on foot. So literally every single day we'll just wake up, we'll pick a neighborhood, and then we will just visit every single grocery stores there. And we'll walk in and we'll talk to the store manager, we'll talk to the store owner, and these people are extremely defensive. So we have to say, hey, look, like, we're working for Google, we're looking for a new way to innovate, to shop, and then they let up a little bit, but it worked. And we say, hey, look, what if we come into your store and we install all these cameras inside your store? And they're like, no way. So we took a step back and we say, hey, like, what if we renovate your shelves? We just make it into sensor shelves. And they're like, hell no, like, you're gonna redo my entire store. And all of these store owners, what they really, really care about is not to renovate their entire store. And in their own words, they said, just bring me something that works. That's it. Don't touch my store because this is my bread and butter, and I can't afford to do anything else if your science project fails in my store. So as a result, what we have decided to do is we've decided to put all the sensor fusion and computer vision technology directly inside a shopping cart so that we could directly just bring this shopping cart and just deploy it inside the store. No store renovation is needed. No store operational overhaul is needed. We could just directly bring it in, deploy, and it's ready to go. So a couple of really cool features on our cart. So number one is, first of all, I need to point out there is a scanner on board. So customers could directly use the scanner to scan the barcode of the product. And on top of that, we have 3 cameras inside the cart, 1 on top and 2 in the front. That's consistently looking inside the cart to see what's going on. And then lastly, we also have a scale. The scale that's embedded within the shopping cart could directly detect the weight of items as they're being placed into the cart. So right now we're live in stores, and how it works is really easy in its first version, where customers could directly just pick up the cart, scan it, and just put it inside their shopping cart, and then they could keep going. And this is a live footage of some of our shopping carts in deployment where customers are directly scanning the item and putting it in. But the cool thing is, every single time customer scans an item and put it inside the cart, you're effectively doing image labeling for us. So when you scan the Poland Spring and put it inside the cart, you're telling me that this is Poland Spring, and I could collect about 120 images from 3 different angles to train for our computer vision model. So ultimately, now what we are able to do based on a lot of these trainings and live store deployments is that we're able to enable a scanless experience. So the graphics aside, this is a live store usage. You can see this girl, she will put in the chips, it will directly use computer vision to detect it. No barcode scanning is required. And if you actually notice the Stacy chips, it's able to identify specific flavors. So one is cheddar, one is whatever. You get the point. And then on top of that, we also have scales inside the cart, so it's able to reproduce as you're placing it in there. And then when you're done, you could just directly insert your cart. No app download is required. You could directly pay, and then you could leave the store. So, so a lot of people has been, looking at this automated checkout market and thinking, oh, is this gonna, cut cashiers and all of that stuff? But what we're looking at is really not so much on, cashier cutting labor saving front. How we feel about this entire market is that all of these labors could be reallocated to the floor to assist customers. But the bigger piece of the return on investment for retailers is not on the cashier part. It's more on the entire journey. When you walk into a grocery store, you spend 30 minutes inside the grocery store. You're probably only going to spend about 5 minutes at the checkout line. But what about the 25 minutes? I think 25 minutes is where all the values are in today's world. So when you walk into a grocery store, you could directly pick up a caper cart. And if you walk down the produce aisle, we're able to recommend you that, hey, tomatoes are on sale. And it's right next to you. Just grab it and go. And on top of that, we could help you find items inside the store. So we could find, say, gluten-free pasta, spaghetti, and we'll tell you it's in aisle 2. People could pick up this spaghetti, and they could move on to recipe recommendation. Hey, you bought spaghetti. How about meatball spaghetti to pair up with to complete your full meal? And on top of that, we could give you another tailored recommendation to tell you that Parmesan cheese probably also goes with that complete recipe. And all of these, and then after which they could check out and leave the store. So all of these are interactions within the store that we could provide to improve customer experience, making physical store shopping more digital, and on top of that, help you complete a full meal, your recipe. And inside the stores that we have launched with, we have proven more than 10% average basket size increases per cart. And we're live. So if you want to try it out, it's in Long Island City. It's in this store called Food Cellar. I really like this image with this kid with their thumbs up. So I always keep it. It's one of our older versions of the cart, but welcome to come. And then last thing, since I'm here, we're hiring engineers. So if you want to apply, caper.ai jobs. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lindon. Sure, we have plenty of questions.
Actually, a comment. I live in Long Island City, and Food Cellar is my supermarket, so I have used Caper.
Cool.
I think just as a feedback, and it's just one person, so I don't know everything. The sense that I get, and the kids love to play with it, is that it doesn't actually speed up my process, and I agree with you 100%. If there was something that would help me, then I would use it a lot more. I only use it if the kids come with it. I don't feel like it's useful for the checkout. I think what you said about the experience of shopping, if there was a great user interface and a great experience, then that would make me use it a lot more. Otherwise, it's a novelty.
This is actually a very, very interesting point. We actually have observed that in that store, average shopping time is about 35 minutes or so. Customers using Caper carts are actually using it for 42 minutes. And as a result, our average basket size are bigger. So the emphasis on this is actually less so on checkout overall. Is really about enriching your overall retail experience. This is where kids learn the name of certain produce. This is where people explore what they want to eat tonight. So the interfacing component is where we see as a bigger component to smart retail.
Awesome. We got one back here.
Thanks. Yeah, really cool idea. I have one question regarding the maintenance of the actual cars. Like, even the ones that we use today, you see them broken, and in these of yours, you will have a lot of cameras and weighing units and delicate electronics. So how do you see like a lifetime span of one shopping cart, and is it an issue for you guys?
Yeah, so we're building our hardware. So in the mass production version that we're launching soon, we're building it to a 3-year standard. So shopping carts get smashed up, they get destroyed. So we're building it to be waterproof, heat-proof, cold-proof, and on top of that, it withstand any vibration and so forth. So hardware durability is extremely important for retailers to get their return on investment, and this is a huge thing.
Awesome. We got one way back here.
Amazing. I'm
Thank
from the
you.
70s and 80s. I can't believe it. To see something like this today is just like, wow, what's going on here?
Thank you.
Can someone invest in this?
Is someone invested in this?
Yeah, because when someone sees something like this, they say, wait a minute. Wow.
We're backed by FirstMark Capital and Lux Capital. So,
Okay.
Yeah, we're venture
Great.
backed.
This is beautiful.
Thank you.
It's so much easier for people to, you know, have access to doing this. And just to see this is amazing. It reminds me of the George Jetson.
Thank you so much.
We got time for a couple more. Got one more question up here.
This is a good workout for you, Jack.
Yeah, it's great. When I go through checkouts and stuff, it's fine up until the point where something scans and then I realize I don't want it anymore. So, like, with return process, while you're checking out, do you guys have something in place?
So you could just take it out. Yeah.
So then it'll
and
reverse the process.
and it would automatically deduct it from the thing. Yeah.
That's great. Oh, one more. No, we got.
So speaking to the user experience of it, is there a way that or plans in the future for people to log in to their cart when they come in, so then you know what they've bought, or you know what they're interested in, or their shopping list is already up?
Yeah, completely. So from our users' feedback, this is actually one of their top wants from our company. We have for the retailers, not food seller, but for the enterprise retailers that we are working with, they have a comprehensive loyalty database bank. So we directly tap into that. So you could directly log in on the cart using your loyalty, and we'll have your shopping history. We could also probably upload, you could also upload some of your shopping lists in there, so we could show you where all the items are as you're shopping. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Lindon, thank you so much. If folks have extra questions, we'll have more time after Nader's final presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.